This time I'd like to call the order of the 2015 meeting of Sayreville Board of Education. Everybody please stand and join me in pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Board Secretary, this meeting is advertised according to the Open Public Meeting Act.
Yes, it has been.
Roll call.
Mr. Balfour. Here. Mrs. Backhoe.
Here.
Mrs. Bloom. Mr. Brzezinski.
Here.
Mr. Sayer.
Here.
Mrs. DePinto.
Here.
Mrs. Pratt.
Here.
Mr. Walsh.
Here.
And Mr. McNamara.
Madam President, I need a motion to go into executive. So moved. Superintendent's evaluation. Second. Okay. Can you read the resolution?
Moved by Mr. Sayer, second by Mr. Walsh. Whereas Section 80 Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975 permits the exclusion of public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be resolved by the Board of Education of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows: the public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the herein after specified subject matter. General nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: personnel, including but not limited to agenda items. Under that, superintendent evaluation and termination of Teamsters Local 469 member. Also, attorney-client privilege, various legal issues associated with the Sayreville War Memorial High School football program, and student discipline. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take
Please
effect.
add SCA negotiations to that.
That is negotiation.
Okay. Take a vote.
Mr. Balfour?
Yes.
Mrs. Backhoe?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Sayer?
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mrs. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
And Mr.
Yes. We're now going to executive session. Education. Everybody please stand and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, everybody please remain standing for a minute. For a moment of silence. This past week, we lost one of our retired secretaries, who was long-term secretary in the school district, Diane Craig. Spent most of the time at the upper elementary school, and if you knew Diane, you liked Diane. Board Secretary, this meeting will advertise according to the Open Public Meeting Act.
Yes, it has, Mr. McNamara.
The roll call.
Mr. Balfour? Here. Mrs. Backhoe?
Here.
Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Here.
Mr. Sayer?
Here.
Mrs. DePinto? Mrs. Pratt?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
And Mr. McNamara.
Madam President, can you please synopsize the topics we discussed in executive session?
In executive this evening on the personnel included but not limited to agenda items, we'll also discuss with the superintendent evaluation, termination of the Teamsters Local 469 members. Under attorney-client privilege, various legal issues associated with the Sayreville War Memorial High School football program and student discipline. And the last item, negotiation, Sayreville Education Association contract.
Thank you. The approval of minutes, everybody should receive a copy of the minutes of the regular executive session meeting June 16th. Anybody have any corrections, comments, or notes of corrections?
Corrections today.
Today, anybody have any other corrections or additions, deletions? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept and file the minutes.
I'll move the minutes be approved with the corrections noted in email today.
Need a second?
Second.
Need a roll call vote.
Mr. Backhoe?
Yes.
Mrs. Backhoe?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Sayer?
Yes.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mrs. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. McNamara.
Yes. Dr. Labby, you're superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. McNamara. We have only two parts of the agenda for you, that is the finance and infrastructure and the Vision 2030 personnel. However, both are quite lengthy. Beginning with finance and infrastructure, number 3, you asked the board to approve a 60-month lease of of a vehicle. Actually, a photocopier for the
You're driving that, you're in trouble.
I was so used to the van that was on and off the agenda. Yes, a photocopier, for my office, cool. Thank you, Mr. DeAndre. Number 4, approval of the Educational Data Services, Inc. To the ancillary bid program, effective April 1st through March 31st.
Dr. Labby,
Yes.
if I could, there is a correction, there was a date change on that. It is November 30th, they extended the bid.
Oh, that's right, correct, yes. And we did correct that in the agenda, I just did not correct it in my slide.
No problem.
It is correct in the agenda.
No.
Well, I'm not.
On
Not the ones we have.
agenda.
It's fine, caught it.
Numbers 5 to 9, approval of the State of New Jersey Middlesex Regional Services Commission Cooperative Purchasing Program, as well as the Middlesex Regional Services Commission and Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing Programs, all for the 2015-16 school year. You can find that on page 2. Number 9, approval to renew the district's membership of the School Alliance Insurance Fund for the period of 3 years, beginning on July 1st, 2013 and ending in 2018. Mr. DeAndrea will be the commissioner of our fund, and he'll be authorized to execute renewal indemnity and indemnity of that trust agreement. You can find that whole resolution on pages 2 through 3. Number 10, we're asking you to approve an award a contract to CME Associates for professional engineering services for a drainage issue that we have right now at the Sayreville Middle School. It's not to exceed $4,800. Number 11, approval to amend the contract with Starlight Home Care Agency. That's the agency that we use to provide nursing services from $50,000 to $60,000 for 2014-15-16 school year. We did have some unanticipated services for 1 or 2 students with disabilities that receive nursing services from that agency. Number 12, we're asking you to approve the acceptance of a $3,000 grant from Aspire IT. It's for the National Women in Information Technology. You can find it on page 3. This will be used to provide a summer technology camp for middle school students, particularly our female students. Number 13, we're asking you to approve our facility usage fees for the 2015-16 school year. Number 14, we're asking you to appoint Concentra as our Board of Education Physical Drug Screening Agency. Currently, they do drug screening for us, and I believe they do that for our transportation workers. If there's ever an accident, we have to send them out for an immediate drug screening and so forth. Number 15, we're asking you to approve purchase of professional agreements with 2 particular agencies that provide services for our students with disabilities. One's JEM Rehabilitation. The other one is Monique A. Coleman, who provides services to visually impaired students. She actually is a teacher for the visually impaired, mostly focusing on teaching children that are visually impaired Braille. JEM focuses more on physical therapy. Number 16, approval of the submission of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act grant for the 2015-16 school year. As you can see here, the total basic grant was $1.4 million. We did receive about $90,000 more than we did the previous year. Also included in that is a preschool grant, which is for $58,000, about $6,000, I believe, more than we received last year. So we did receive more federal funds this year than we did the previous year. Number 17 through 26, you can find that on pages 6 through 7. We have several building permits that we are asking you to approve. Numbers 27 through 28, proud to say that we have 2 great trips planned for Camp XL, our new extended school year, integrated extended school year program. We also have several afternoon trips for our extended school year program for our transition, our high school students who are going to be receiving transition services, mostly in the area of community-based instruction and vocational education. They will be going on several trips throughout the community. You can find it on page 8. Number 29, approval of the negotiated joint transportation contract with South Amboy for 3 students. Similarly, number 30, approval of floating transportation contract for the extended school year for one particular student on May 8th. And number 31, approval for bedside tutoring for 2 students, extended school-year tuitions for about 10 students with disabilities in about 6 different out-of-district private schools. And finally, we're asking you to approve some additional occupational therapy services for a student with disability at the Academy Learning Center. Interestingly enough, I read a broadcast memo 2 weeks ago that indicated that private out-of-district schools are not permitted to charge school districts more for additional related services. I have put an inquiry to the Department of Education that also goes for Ed Service Commission schools. Because in this particular case, we're being asked to pay more for additional occupational therapy services, even though that is included in their tuitions. So I have an inquiry out for that. Any questions on finance and infrastructure?
Questions from the board? Mrs. Beck?
On page 7, the whole page, there's, on some of it says fees in accordance with schedule, and some are silent. Does that mean if it doesn't say fees according to schedule, then the fees are waived?
There are, the ones that do not have, there are no fees associated with school-related activities.
Any questions?
Yes.
They're not all school-related activities, but I
Well,
guess the answer is
the
yes.
ones that are, yeah.
So if that means the fees have been waived, if it doesn't.
Well, may not necessarily be waived, there is
There are no
fees
fees.
associated.
Thank you.
Mr. DeAndrea, I need to abstain on item number 10, CME Associates. My brother works for the firm.
Anything else? Next section.
Okay, if I can direct your attention now to Division 2030 personnel. We do have, sadly for us, but happily for other individuals, we do have a retirement. So we're asking you to accept the retirement of Diane Dansamer. She is an employee, has been an employee for the district for quite some time. Diane Dansamer has been employed as a long-term cafeteria worker for the Sayreville School District since 1998. She started working in the kitchen at the Eisenhower Elementary School and then was transferred to the high school. Diane has been a dedicated worker throughout her 17 years of employment for the Food Services Department here in Sayreville. Ms. Dansamer has established an excellent rapport with her fellow coworkers, students, and staff at the high school as well as the rest of the district. Her sense of humor and friendly demeanor always shines through when she serves meals or snacks to the students on a daily basis. Diane truly has been an asset to our food services department. We will miss her, but we wish her all the best in her retirement years. So congratulations, Mrs. Dansamer. Items number 3 through 7, as well as 25 to 26, and you can find 3 through 7 on page 11 and 25 to 26 on the agenda. We're asking you to accept several certified and 1 non-certified staff member resignation. Number 8 on pages 13 through 14 and number 27 on the agenda. We're asking you to approve the hiring of 12 certified staff members, including 1 very special person who is here tonight. As you know, Board of Education members, we went ahead and we created a new position because we felt that one of the areas in which that we could improve staff morale on was the area of professional development. We felt that if we provided more professional support to our certified staff and our non-certified staff, we would increase morale. We are on the verge of implementing several major initiatives, so we really needed to find the right individual, the perfect individual that will be able to deliver the professional development that not only our staff members here in Sayreville deserve, but that we need in order to effectively implement all the major initiatives and changes that we want to go ahead and do next year. And I'm proud to say that we found an amazing person. who is incredibly inspiring. I believe I was told that when she was answering her questions for her interview, the number one reason why she wanted this position is because it was her dream job. And as far as I'm concerned, hiring a person that's dreamed of doing a job like this is the right person for this position. It's someone that I know. I've only been in the district a year, but I've had a chance to work with this person, and I can clearly see her enthusiasm for working with teachers, working with professionals, and more importantly, molding educators. And I couldn't be prouder tonight to recommend to you Ms. Shannon Johnson for the supervisor of professional development in middle school tonight. And I believe she is here with her husband. So Shannon, if you don't mind standing up.
Oh, and my father, Dr. Last.
Oh, and Mr. Johnson. Sorry about that, sir. Okay, and number 13, we're asking for your approval to hire an assistant cheerleading coach for Sayreville Memorial High School cheer squad. That's the 2015-16 school year. It can be found on page 14. Numbers 14 through 28.
Crystal, she's in the back.
Oh, she's here.
Yes.
All right.
No assistant cheerleading coach.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. Number 15, we're asking you to approve several custodian stipends in accordance with the Teamster contract. We discussed that during our last meeting. Those were new positions that we asked you to approve. Now we're asking you to actually approve the stipend position. Number 16, we're asking you to approve several non-certified substitutes for the 15-16 school year. You can find those on page 15. Number 17 through 19, we're asking you to approve several work days for several of our guidance counselors, as well as our 4 part-time special services secretaries. You can find that on page 16. Number 20, we're asking you to approve several certified staff member transfers. You can find that on page 17. Number 21, we're asking you to approve the salaries of all staff not in collective bargaining units for the 2015-16 school year. Those salaries can be found on pages 17 and 18. Number 22 and 29, we're asking you to approve the professional days. We also have one additional professional day on the agenda, that's number 29. Numbers 22 through 25, we're asking you to approve salary revisions to the 2015 summer enrichment, extended school year, and summer IEP work program. Those can be found in the attachments A, B, and C, which are right up there. If you want to take a look at those are attachments A, B, and C. They're right up there. Number 30, we're asking you to approve the termination of custodian at the middle school. And that is also on the agenda. Any questions on Vision 2030 personnel?
I have a question. Page 15, number 16. When you're approved as a non-certified substitute, can you be a substitute as like a janitor or a secretary or any non-certified position?
I believe you can.
So it's just one non-certified position.
Any other questions?
I'm
Yeah.
voting no on item number 14, Crystal Doctor. And then on number
Where
20,
at? What page?
page 15, the new position.
Oh, second. Okay.
And then on page number 17, number 21, I'm going to be abstaining on Wayne Kanowski, voting yes on the confidential secretaries and no on all the other positions.
You got that, Mr. Board Secretary?
And I apologize, you'll be voting.
Abstain on Wayne, yes on the confidentials, and no on all the others.
Bear with me as I make all my notations. Just have to be patient. That was there, and then just so it's correct, the first 3 in voting no on the first 3 district administrators, and then the block between Sandra St. Paul and Karen Ranowitz are also those and abstaining on Wayne.
Correct.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Mr. DeAndrea, I have to abstain on Ms. Reese and Ms. Shea.
I apologize, I didn't hear you.
I have to abstain on Ms. Shea.
You're abstaining on those two.
Page 15 of the board now, I need administrative secretary as well. Number 14.
On 14 on Christopher Zekas. Okay.
And page 17 and 18. To make it easier, it'll be the same except I'm not abstaining on Wayne, it'll be no.
So no one the same as Mr. Valka. And you're okay on Wayne or?
I'm just gonna vote no on Mr. Matt.
No one.
So, I just, sorry.
Is it? Mr. DeAndrea?
No on the first three?
On page 17?
That's correct. Yes on the confidential secretary, gonna abstain, everybody else is no, and I'll abstain on Ms. Jenkins, and no on Wayne.
So you're abstaining on
Ms. Jenkins.
and voting no on all the rest?
That's correct.
And how about Mr. Kronowski, also no?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I have a question. So, Wayne got a 0% rate, is that correct?
Correct.
So, we're still voting, some people are still voting no on it?
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be a no on every hire. You know?
Is that what it is?
How big?
I don't recall if he was already somewhere else. So the no on both, no on salary and retired. That's right, he's already on the list for rehire.
Then what's the no vote for?
It's salary.
It's
It's
not-
our same here.
The salary, which is the same.
Okay, then how many votes is that on him?
There are only 2 no votes, 1 abstention, so it passes.
And then the new one.
And-
Anybody
I
else?
was just curious, maybe I was
And
one.
I have to get, and I believe on the district administrators, there were 3 no's and 1 abstention, and 5 so it passes.
So we haven't voted.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. Anybody else? Okay, before we vote on anything, we've got to open up to the public. Anything else on the agenda? Seeing none, at this time, I'd like to open up to the public for any questions or comments on agenda items only. And we'll open up again to the public for any, business that will come before this board. Any questions, comments on agenda items before the board votes on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion and entertain a roll call vote to follow the second superintendent report. Need a second? Second.
Is that Mr. Walsh?
Yeah.
Mr. Bauer? Yes. Mrs. Backer? Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Mr. Sine?
Yes with the 1 abstention note.
Mrs. DePinto?
Yes.
Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
And Mr. McNamara?
Yes or no, sir? Okay, having done that. Finance and Infrastructure, you haven't met since last meeting, personnel hasn't met, so who's the board?
that we started high school, we didn't notice.
Yeah, I did know. That's good. That's all. Discussion items, anybody have any discussion?
Just one on the delegate for New Jersey School Board's report. NJSBA partnered with the New Jersey League of Municipalities in preparation of a report dealing with the impact of what would happen if the pension reform plan that was proposed by the independent commission became reality, and if the future retirement obligation, exclusive of the pension obligation itself, but going forward, the future retirement obligation was shifted to local districts. They basically gave a cost per district of what it would cost in additional expense for a district to assume that ongoing retirement contribution. So for example, if it became a 401k or a 403b type plan, and Sayreville had to start kicking in and contributing towards the cost of retirement for the employers. For the employees, it would cost Sayreville taxpayers for every percentage point $21.50 of local tax levy in order to fund the retirement of our current employees. So we need to watch where this whole pension piece goes, because if it does get shifted to local school boards without any additional state aid, there's going to be a significant tax impact for the local property taxpayer, not just to Sayreville, but across the state. But I worked out the impact for Sayreville.
Any good news?
It's summer. The legislature's going into recess.
Todd, can you give us an update on the status of Camp XL in terms of program start enrollment?
Yes, both programs are doing pretty well and growing by the day. Yesterday, we received 4 more applications for Camp XL. If you're not aware of what Camp XL is, it's our new integrated extended school year camp that we're providing for our children with and without disabilities in grades preschool through. We even have some 12th graders involved in it. Currently, we're projecting about 250 kids. We're still waiting on some registrations to come in to confirm, and we've got close to 28, I believe, kids that are coming on tuition basis for close to $8,000 to $10,000 in net revenue for that program, which we're real excited about. We've got some great trips planned. There's still time for parents to sign their kids up. We just locked in a deal, hopefully, with the Lake Ridge Community School. So we'll be taking a trip there for a swimming day. We'll also be taking our kids on July 8th to the TD Bank Ballpark for an exclusive tour of the ballpark, which we're excited to go to. We also have a trip to the Battlefield Park in Manalapan. That's part of our outdoors theme. And we'll be having a bomber field day on the 23rd of July here at the high school. And we're finishing up with what we call Sayreville Spectacular, but it will be basically a talent show for all of our students participating. So we're real excited, and we're looking forward to the summer. As the camp director, there's nothing better that I'd like to be doing, so I can't wait for that begins. Summer enrichment is also going quite well. Last year, summer enrichment, I think they had about 40 kids participating. This year, they have like close to 56 kids participating. So that program has also grown as well. Many of the students that will be going to Camp Excel will be extending their day into summer enrichment. So they'll be with Camp Excel from 8 to 12, and then they'll remain with summer enrichment from 12 to 4 o'clock, and then all day on Fridays. Ms. Duda and Ms. Lawrence, who are our co-coordinators of summer enrichment, have done a great job of planning a fun-filled summer for all the students that will be attending summer enrichment. They too will be going on trips. Their trips will be all day on Fridays. So we're really excited about the 2 great programs that are running in the summer. And I know Dr. Shediak has shared with me that she's getting more and more applicants for our credit completion summer school program. And we're not too happy that we have applicants for that, but we're very happy to provide them with the services that they need to graduate. And I know Mr. Vogel is going to be an instrumental part, as he always is, in educating our kids over the summer so that they can get the credit completion that they need to move on to the next grade level, albeit in the middle school or at the high school level. So, all of our programs are looking pretty good for Savannah for the summer.
I just want to say Camp Excel is really optimal. And that's not something that existed here. This is your brainchild. We have over 200 students right now in the program. So that's noteworthy. Thank you. Appreciate the update.
I would,
Yes, Mrs. Strap, I was looking for your item for discussion.
okay, well, first of all, the summer school program is at just grades, what is that, 6, 7, 8?
Credit completion, Dr.
Yes, 6, 7, 8, okay. And can you talk a little bit about the kindergarten orientation?
Yes, kindergarten orientation will be a little bit different than it has been in the past. Basically, next school year, our kindergarten students will not begin on the first official student day. That's when their orientation will take place. So kindergarten orientation will take place in the afternoon on the first day of school. So this way, the parents have a chance to, obviously as they do during every kindergarten orientation, meet the principal, listen to the principal, discuss the various procedures and so forth. But while they're doing that, rather than their teacher be with someone that may or may not be their teacher, they'll be in a classroom with their actual kindergarten teacher for an hour to bond and become familiar with that teacher, become familiar with that classroom, in the hopes that will significantly reduce that separation anxiety that takes place on the first day our kindergartners come to school.
There's a lot of tears, mostly parents.
Yeah, and in my experience, this is something that I actually had the chance to implement for the first time in Edison when I was an elementary school principal. Because we had a lot of separation anxiety and a lot of those tears, and I would say that we reduced it by about 50% just by having kindergarten orientation the day before they actually begin.
Okay, and I also wanted to talk about the graduation inside. Well, I know this year was 8th grade, and it's been high school previous years, and I know that it's exhaustive heat. Though I was not there, though I've been there on previous years, and I know how tough it is. So I'd like to know I'd like to discuss what other ideas we have, rather than coming to, squeeze all the parents in.
Popsicles? It's funny because I know that Ms. Trapp and I had a conversation about this. We talked about the different air-conditioned rooms within this building, and one of the ideas that we discussed was this actual room. In order to have a graduation in this particular room, I think it's actually long enough so that we could put our graduates in here. I'm just not sure we'd be able to have enough chairs, at least for our parents to see. The only thing I think that we could do is if we had to put portable bleachers or something like that on the side, we might be able to pull something like that off. If we had it in the auditorium, we'd probably only be able to give out one ticket per child. So that probably wouldn't work either. And then the final thing, which could possibly be something that we could consider down the road, if we were able to begin to start generating some revenue, if we're able to explore some different avenues in terms of the reduction of energy costs, and maybe look at solar panels, particularly in this building, once we have that new roof constructed. But the thought of maybe putting some air conditioning in our gymnasium is something that we may want to consider.
I never met a dead horse I didn't want to kick. A couple of years ago, this issue came up. And the thing was a paradigm shift, whether we wanted to do it offsite. And there was some thought that tradition wanted them to graduate on school. And I understood that. But we always have the two risks. There's been times we started the ceremony out here and we all ran inside. Remember that year? It was so blasted. And everybody was wet, and then the auditorium was hot. So you have two problems. You have weather, you have heat. And that's the way it's done. We have this facility in town that was offered to us, no cost. A huge room, fully air conditioned, thousands of parking spaces. That would be the Faith Fellowship auditorium in town. And that was offered to us at no cost to be able to use that facility. And during our discussion, people got upset because it was in Faith Fellowship. And what if somebody saw a religious statue? I think they would know, whatever. Yeah. But there was a lot of things that we were talking about that we could take care of those issues that we referenced more now. And that's one of the things that was offered to us, and the board decided that we were not going to do that. So the other option we have, even if we air conditioned gym, it's still not big, especially high school graduation. And we're going to wind up denying relatives, and sometimes high school graduations, relatives come from out of state, and you deny them access to it. That's a problem. So we have to have a paradigm shift here on whether we have to graduate on school grounds. As you know, Old Bridge doesn't do it on their grounds. And we have a facility right here in town that was offered to us at little no cost. So we need to think about it. And I think that's more viable. Certainly, if we decide to go that way, like to throw a survey out to the kids, and that's what they go with. Tradition is you graduate on the school. I'm okay with that, but we're going to have to deal with these, and have to deal with them.
And they wanted to do it on football field.
What we do again?
The other option we have too as an alternative, and this may cause some challenges for working parents, but anytime in the summer when a storm's going to roll through, When's it gonna roll through? It's gonna roll through sometime between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock, right when we're having graduation. If you back graduation, or move graduation up to maybe a 2, 3 o'clock start, you might avoid most of the storms that hit. You still run the risk of it being a total washout day, but that might, all the times that we've had to move to the gym, it's always been a result of a late afternoon storm, where Dr. Labby or the superintendent sitting on the field saying, what do we do?
I think that might get a little complicated in terms of when you hold that. You hold graduation, you know, school day, trying to coordinate a school day here, even though it'll be a half day, not a lot of turnaround time, by the time you get to leave to set things up. But it definitely, you know, is an interesting idea. The other problem you might run into is parents getting out of work in time to attend the graduation at 2:30 to 2 o'clock. However, I can imagine that most parents might take that day off anyway.
Well, especially if we advertise it year-round.
But I also think it's definitely worth rehashing that discussion with regard to having it in a different venue. You're absolutely right, Mr. McEnroe. Many school districts now go to an indoor venue, be it the RAC or any other place that will accommodate them. One of the problems that you have with that is you have a hard date. You're married to that date. So then, you know, if you get a lot of snow, you're consuming vacation time, spring vacation and those types of days, so it gets a little complicated in that area. However, you know, we do have a place in town that would probably be willing to be flexible with us with regards to dates. And you know, who can argue with the F word? I mean, if it is free of cost, I mean, that too is something that we really have to strongly consider. And then finally, having had, you know, in 2 previous districts, you know, go off-site for graduation, it gets complicated. Traveling there, traveling back, and so forth. But if we're a place right here in Sayreville, it's definitely worth having that discussion.
I think some of the districts that do have it off-site, I think Old Bridge, their graduation is set a week after they get out of school to give them time. Was it Old Bridge? It wasn't the last day of school, though.
I know in Edison it's not that way.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the last day of school. Yeah, it wasn't the week after. I know that for a fact.
Old Bridge is the day after.
Yeah, it was the day after, right?
Well, we have that discussion, now's the time to have that discussion. Because once the school year starts, we have to count.
Right.
Well, I understand.
For 2 years.
Amending now. But, look,
Does anybody know, East Brunswick VOTEC, somebody had come to me and had mentioned to me that they have a big facility, I don't know, Darren was looking at me, so is that no? Were they wrong in that?
They have an auditorium that's air conditioned, but it's not much larger than ours.
Much larger than our auditorium, so we wouldn't be able to see everybody. Well, we would put our heads together and come up with some great ideas. Besides Mike's.
There's 3 options. You do it on a football field, you air condition the gymnasium, you do it off-site. If somebody has another option, speak. I mean, that's 3 things, right? If we want to continue to do it on the field, we can just keep our fingers crossed and hope that the weather gods are favorable.
We could like that.
Yeah, let's
Did
go.
you want another option?
Well, anyway, I think our middle school staff did an outstanding job.
Yes, they did.
And still start on time, and logistically move all of that into.
And even found
And then-
common circumstance.
Yeah.
And the maintenance staff, right, because they set it all up and.
My compliments to both administrations. Again, Mr. Kubik and her administration for adapting and overcoming. It was hot, but we were able to get out of there in about an hour. And I don't think it took too much away. I saw a ton of smiles on a lot of faces. But I also think commendations go out to Mr. Brown and his administration and his faculty for you know, a very memorable graduation right out there on the football field.
That might be the group to run the survey with the freshmen who went during this year, after they just went through
Right.
a graduation that had to be moved inside. You know, that might be someone who already hasn't looked at the best scenario, see how they feel about being moved off site. They might have a different opinion, and I don't know who we surveyed that day.
I just think that we are we're fortunate because we have something here in town, we're over that's a trend. That's a big difference. And, you just keep going down Main Street, get there. Something that we may want to revisit, and we have to look at the other issue of the fact that it's.
And having been in that venue, it's not only a very large room, but there are rooms off of it that would accommodate our kids before they go to graduation too. It's a wonderful facility.
You take fellowship?
Yeah, it's a wonderful facility.
If they're offering it to us for free,
Well,
then there really wouldn't be an issue.
The first thing we do is, if that's a serious consideration, before we open up discussion, we gotta engage with the resident and see if that's still on the table. This was several years ago.
We also have to talk to legal counsel, because I know there's been case law where districts have had their graduation in a church and it's been challenged. I don't know in New Jersey, I know in Connecticut. And they lost.
Let me open
What I
up
was
the
gonna
case, I'll
say,
open
though,
up
if
the
they're
floor.
offering it for free, we could use that as a contingency in case of rain and have it planned for the field, and that would be our.
I'll sign the statement that I'm not gonna back.
And we did talk about that.
Look, there's always some reason, and I get, I don't like dealing with excuses as a result. I get so tired of everybody telling me why we cannot do something. I wanna hire somebody to tell me how to do it. So tell our legal guys to tell us how we can do it. I'm tired of telling people that we can't do it, we can't do it. Let's just do it now. And we'll worry about it tomorrow. Okay, having said that, any other discussion before we open up the phone? If not, I'd like to open up the public, any business may come forward.
No, I'm just, Lisa Reba, 7 Charles Street. My cousin graduated from Neptune High School, and they have their graduation, their high school graduation at the Great Auditorium in Ocean Grove, which is a religious venue. I'm not trying to take sides here, I'm just saying
They were able to do that.
yeah.
And you also lied.
I'm sorry?
And you also lied.
And they also lied.
Survived. They all left.
I know that, I think like a few years ago, I wanna say a few years ago, there was a lawsuit by parents because they were not of that religion and they were offended by, and that's what I'm saying, I'm just presenting the information to you. I know, and it's a beautiful venue, it was absolutely gorgeous, and
And it's at the beach.
what?
And it's at the beach.
It's at the beach, no. We're not moving to Neptune. I'm just saying, I know that there were some issues that were, you're gonna offend people, no matter what you do, so, and like I said, it was a beautiful venue, and I'm not,
No, we'll research it, we'll discuss it, and we'll probably have a full.
hopefully, Old Bridge, the middle school, they graduated Brookdale, and, the 2 middle schools take turns every year being the early graduation and the late graduation. We don't have that issue here. But the graduation is run like about a week before the last day of school. So don't tell Susie, it's not ideal, having 8th graders run around the building for a week after they've graduated. But, the high school graduation is always the day after the last day of school, so that they're not in school and they get down to the art center. Happy summer, guys.
Thank you. Any other people? Please.
I vote in favor of air conditioning in the school.
Also,
Those are coming from Mr. DeAndrews now. I saw you guys sweating, you understand, I've been there, I had mine inside, so we all understand. It's hot, we sit here, I vote in favor of air conditioning inside the school. Just saying, it's not here anymore, but there's other people here. Been there, done that, air conditioning, think about it.
Thank you. Is anyone else in the public like to speak? Vote.
Just while we're on the topic of promotion, I was here for middle school promotion, and being a teacher in the district for 16 years and at the middle school, the staff works hard to be there for the promotion. This year, guys, it was tough. I saw some of you there, and you know what I'm talking about. Kids were leaving during the ceremony because they were so hot to get drinks. It was a mob scene in the hallway to give out the certificates. Parents were pushing. It was a little embarrassing, to be honest. And nothing against the administration. I'm a very big supporter of Don Jakubik and Alan and Greg. I think we need to do something. I understand the high school wants to be on the field for graduation, but this is middle school. Why does the middle school need to be on the field? Can we think of a different approach, especially for middle school promotion? High school, I do understand, if the students do want to graduate on the field, but being here for a while now, the staff works very hard in Saphir. I mean, we were soaked. We're leaving there soaked. And it was, people were going out afterward, whether it was a little party and you were just embarrassed to go because you were just, so something to really think about, and I really think this is a great discussion by the board to talk about, maybe trying to have it somewhere different, because we do have guests that come, and they're sitting there in this sweat and this heat and going, wow, this is what you guys do? So, I think it's a great discussion.
Thank you, appreciate it. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, this time, I'll go to the public portion. Our next meeting will be July 21st, and we have one on August 18th, and I'll kindly accept the motion to adjourn.